It's 7:35, October 1st. This is the Conservation Commission. We are the pay ending date 9/28/2024. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I don't know if anybody's had time to review the applicant, the board committee volunteer application for, Thomas Historio? I don't know. That's a quick, anyway. For a volunteer or to be a member of the Conservation Commission, if he were to, we would have a full board. We'd still need one more as a, I wouldn't say an alternate. It's a non-voting member, and the only time they would vote is if we didn't have a quorum. So
this will be a full member.
what?
This will be for a full member?
Full member, yes. So he would love to give back to the community and assist as I can with the knowledge that I have. I've worked in municipalities for the past 13 years and feel I can provide a positive contribution to the committee. His professional education credentials, he's foreman of the Abington DPW and lead sewer technician. I also have a business management degree with UMass Dartmouth. Do you have any other previous town service experience? I'm on the capital committee, but other than that, and my years working for Abington, not yet. Most boards and committee meet not either once or twice a month. Do you have any commitments that would prohibit you from regular attendance? Other than working an overtime or snow emergency, I do not have any other obligations that would prevent me from showing up to meetings. He's excited to get more involved in the town. So, does anybody have any negatives or?
No, that's a good background.
Okay. We can, I will email Lori O'Brien, who is the selectman admin or administrative assistant, and we can move forward with that. Okay.
Great.
We can't do the minutes because they're not updated with the points that Brian had added, but we can discuss. What was the other thing? So Leanne and I went to for Constitution Circle Thursday. Yes, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, and did a site inspection of the erosion installation. Mm-hmm. And I forgot to take pictures, but the fence was sagging, and they had just installed it in the last 2 days. So it was like down like this. There was a tree that was hanging over, like it looked like it almost fell on it.
Yeah. This was right after we had that heavy rain. So.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So I told them for the one, it almost looked like the roots were coming up. So I was like,
Big tree? Like that?
no, it's a small one.
What was that?
So
Large branch.
yeah, it was between two big ones, but this one was just a little thing. Just going like this. It's like just cut the limbs so it's not leaning on the fence. Then there was a pallet in the wetlands from when I think they were dragging.
Oh.
The shed was in the driveway. They had left all the brush from when they took down the trees. And I was like, you might want to clean that out. And well, what if it just goes back, just, I go, it's up to you. I'm just suggesting because it's dry and it's near your house that it might be beneficial, but that's up to them to do. But I told them that they couldn't proceed until the fencing is back.
Okay.
And after then going to Franklin Street and looking at what they had installed, I think going forward, not just a silk fence, but the, whatever it's called, the brittle,
Sock.
the sock part,
Yeah.
we need to have that as well. But I can't go back and change the order of conditions, but I think going forward in our boilerplate, it needs to be part of it. And there's two different kinds, because Dennis Smith from 250 Stetson Street had asked. So there's one that has like straw,
Yeah.
and it's on the outside,
straw.
and then there's
Straw wattle.
yeah, and then there's the one that has the fabric. So, which like they used on Auburn Street. You can come in.
I mean, for
Just
the
the
most
door's
part, I
closed.
think that the silk socks will do the trick. It's just those ones with the heavy topography issue. That's when I would say look at the silk fence at Franklin Street. It worked out pretty well because it
Yeah.
stopped
Yeah, and
yards
especially
of material.
yes, and especially since their lawn is like this, it really
Yeah, some
we should have done it, but coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Did they have the contractor do it, or they put it on themselves?
I don't know. I forgot to ask.
They're
But
gonna take a picture once it's all set. And
I told him to call me again, and then I'll come out again because it was like sagging and
There's
some.
multiple sections.
Yeah, and it was
Like
some were fine, but then others it was just
Makes
yeah.
sense.
So I mean, I think they were a little disappointed, but it's like, sorry, you can't. Just let me know when I can stop by anytime. So,
should be mad. Okay.
is there anything else? Oh, so we could wait till, we can discuss this before Carl gets here, but the certificate of compliance for Lot 1 and 2 of Franklin Street. So, were you able to get behind
Two.
Lot 1
I looked at lot 1 from the bottom 2.
from the web?
From 2, looking up at the.
Yeah, I could see that, but I couldn't, like, when I went
I didn't see the
down the driveway,
I didn't see the
I
driveway.
couldn't really see anything, I could, the grass and all that, but I really couldn't see behind the fence. And there's no gate in the backyard. The only gate is at on the side of the house to enter the backyard. There's not a gate, like you have,
To get behind the fence.
to get behind the fence or anything. So I'm too short, and I didn't want to really be climbing on trucks and, because the guys were like parkour. I mean, there's probably like a foot plus all the weeds and stuff between trying to climb and all that. So I didn't bother. But I think that one's fine, except for like mulch was coming down through the.
On the driveway side, but
Yeah, on the like in the rocks. So this isn't the right one, but like the rocks here. So they had mulch here. Let me see if I have it.
as far as wetlands on that side. I don't
Yeah,
think
that
it's-
was the only big deal with that is like any of that mulch will be going down to their neighbor's
Yep.
driveway, and so that would be their problem. I mean, technically, so.
I mean, my first thought about it was I would probably vote for 1 to be okay, it's really well vegetated and doesn't have the same issues, but 2, I think they'd have to pull back a lot of the wood chips that are leaning on the silt fence before they fall.
Yeah, so do we tell them that they have to leave the fence, or I mean, I'm just concerned that.
Fence is temporary, anyways, the sun's gonna.
I know, but as soon as he takes it out,
The
like,
sun's gonna reach it and break it down.
so my concern is like when this comes out,
I would take all that back, I'd take it all out.
so this.
I'm not sure why what the purpose they put in that way there was. I would just let
Would have the grass seed washed down. Because the grass seed probably went, between.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so this one,
Vegetated.
see where
Take your tickets for us.
they take this out, then all this is just gonna go right into that.
I would take the wood chips out of that.
Okay.
At least
See, and then.
definitely the ones that are
that's like
contacting the silt
I
chips.
wouldn't say it's a stream, but it's like it does flow
And
once
it's really
it rains and
soft and
everything,
working
because this goes, can't really see it, but there's a pipe here that goes under Franklin Street, and it goes across the street. and It actually comes from the other side and flows down this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have done it. This is about 4 feet.
Yeah, it's odd to not just grass it. I don't know if we would need to. I would just weed it over.
Just,
Okay, so one's fine,
I would.
I think
put up
one's fine,
Yep.
and then two, we just have them. Should they remove it before we do the certificate of compliance?
I would.
Okay.
You want to have a vote on one?
Yeah, just give me one.
Take your time. I'm not sure.
Gotta make sure okay, this is lot two.
Here.
Yep. Yes, lot one. Okay. So I need a motion to approve 340-0477, the certificate of compliance for Lot 1. The new address is 441 Franklin Street. The original address was 431 Franklin Street, Lot 1. So I need a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just want to mention that Carl is sick tonight, so he's not going to be able to attend the meeting. I'm Carlos. I prepared the stormwater
Okay.
management for the plan, and I'll be doing the presentation
Okay.
tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Were you going to communicate the?
Yeah, so I will email Carl about Lot 2.
Okay.
Saying that, well, one, they have to get, remove the galvanized tub and then remove the fencing and that,
They want to meet us out there, meet me out there, someone out there, just to show them what we're talking about. That's fine.
Okay. Let me make sure that that's everything. Okay. Now I'm going to stack my stuff up the wrong way. Yep. Okay, it is 7:49. I am going to reopen, or going to continue the hearing for 340-485. For 870 Temple Street, Whitman. Carl Garvey is not present due to illness, but what is
Carlos Fahina from MP Design.
will be filling in his place. So you may,
So
go ahead.
last meeting, it was Mark as my partner, did the presentation for you, and then he filled me in with like the items that were questions from, so we're gonna start with the easiest one. So we're
Oh,
on the property.
Before, do you have new plans for us,
I
please?
have a whole set of like
Okay.
group. So there's 4 sets in here.
Okay.
I have like the whole, I have the whole,
We could share.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll share.
Yeah.
I have like the whole calculation in here with like some information that I'll leave
Okay, yeah, I'll need,
later when I'm done. So one of the items were like need like soil testing data to confirm the design for the infiltration system. So we went to the site and we dug like 2 test holes, one end of the system, the other one at the other end of the system. And we confirmed like it's all like in the beginning, like the first 3 feet, it was like loamy sand and then very bony gravel material down at the bottom. We went about in one hole, we went 138 inches, close to 11 feet. The other one 10 feet deep, no groundwater, no mottlings indicated on the site. No indication for groundwater in any of those holes at the depth that we excavated. So that was one of the outstanding items. The other thing is that we did an overlay for the we went to like the for the the website for the state that shows like vernal pool. They have like a location point that we place it over a lot on it, showing like the location for the vernal pool. It's about 250 feet from our outlet.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
That was like the vernal pool. What I did is that we got, I did a research myself, like a couple eyes, and we include the letter in here. It was kind of a lot of information, but I'm going to try to summarize it. I have a letter from Broke Monroe, which was the environmental scientist that did like the wetland delineation for us. And basically what she says is like when NHESP reviews a project and its potential impact from development, the issue they are generally concerned with the distance of the proposed work and if there have been an increase in the quality and amount of runoff discharge to the vernal pool. In this instance, the proposed work, 200 feet approximately from the vernal pool, is a conservative buffer. The regulations require 100 feet. If the project meets the requirements of stormwater standards, then it's assumed that the quality of the runoff will not be impacted. In fact, it may be improved. And it's my understanding that the calculations conducted in accordance with the standards show that there will be no increase in the amount of runoff from the pre and to post development from the proposed project. So basically, is it on the case of like the vernal pool, I mean, there's no increase on the buffer itself because it's within the buffer and we are more than 200 feet away from the impacted area. And the concern from DEP on that, it would be like the quality of the water discharge into that vernal pool. And the project meets all the guidelines, all 10 guidelines of the stormwater. So we are doing like pre-treatment, we are cleaning. So any discharge coming from the site would be better than it was in a pre-development condition. Regarding, which is like, it was a standard without the vernal pool itself, which is we met anyway, which is like we are reducing, we are keeping the same levels of like pre and post. So when you go to our stormwater management, calculation. This one was a table. That, so like for peak runoffs on the 2-year storms, we had like 0.01 CFS, and we're gonna have like 0 on the post-development. On the 10-year storms, we had like 0.24, and we're gonna have 0 on the post-development. On the 25 years, we have like a 0.53, and we're gonna have like 0 on the post-development. In the for 100-year storms, we have like 1 CFS and 1.11, and we're gonna have like 1.04. So like the most, I mean, we kept it on a 100-year storm, we kept it. But when you go like to the comparison of like volume, so we had like 0.31 on the pre-development, we have 0.31 on the post-development. On the, this is, sorry, there was like 2 design points. So like this one is the design point 2. So we had like 0.31 on the pre-development, on the post-development we have 0.31. We had on the pre-development 3.30 and we have 2.29. Then 6.18 to 4.16 and then 11.60 to 7.63. So we kept like all the peak runoffs on it, on the balance, and we are promoting a lot of like infiltration to our basin of like clean water into groundwater, which is like the guideline for meeting all the standards like for recharge, water quality, higher pollutants, critical areas of development. So we met all that for our discharge point. So like the vernal pool, I have and then just to have like a backup. I have like another consultant that I use on different projects. That's like Matthew Morrow, is an environmental scientist also, and he pointed out like that there's a guideline from DEP that say Basinal Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Guidelines for Certification of Vernal Pool Habitat states that Wetland Protection Act allows projects to submit analysis based upon a total runoff of like 2.6 inches rainfall intensity in a 24-hour period. The subject project rainfall intensity used for the stormwater design in accordance with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric under NOAA. The 2-year storm 24-hour event for Whitman is 3.35 inches rainfall. In the stormwater design analysis demonstrated that during the 2-year storm, the peak runoff volumes at the design point 2, which includes the vernal pool, are not being altered from pre-development to post-development. The rainfall volume reaching the wetland is not being altered during the rainfall intensity stated by the National Heritage. And enough stormwater infiltration occurring according to Mass Department of Protection guidelines. So that was like another guideline that we found on there, that the protection for vernal pools, it's stated it's under the 2.25, 2.2 inches, 2.6 inches of runoff. And we, during our 2-year storms, we maintain the peak runoff pre and post at the same. So we're not denying water to maintain the vernal pool habitat.
Is that still read from the letter from the CWS?
Yes, I have. It's included. I'll give you this.
Okay.
The other item, it was a miscalculation of like the total suspended solids table. So we corrected that table. I mean, it's on the report. I think there was a miscalculation that gypsum catch basin with hood, you get a TSS removal of 0.25, subsurface infiltration structure 0.80, and then a sediment forebay, which is this, it's another 0.25, so we get like a total TSS removal of like 89%. I think that was over designed. I think that was was an assumption.
Just looks like a train all the way through and it doesn't appear that way.
Yeah, so we made the correction of 89.
Okay.
Okay.
What else? I think those were the questions that the board had and we made a correction on.
Oh, turn.
Yeah, I think one of our main concerns last time was not just increased water but decreasing the water to the ground. The whirlpools are delicate.
Yes.
They need dry seasons and need wet seasons. So all of a sudden, if you're infiltrating a lot more, then it's going to dry up and it's not going to go. So I'm glad that the certified wetland scientist opined on that fact, and then you meet the standard. So.
You guys have any other questions?
Did you do any infiltration testing, or just have the soil guy look at the soil and look for?
This particular soil, I have pictures of it. It was fine gravel. It was like coarse gravel. I mean, if I throw like this, would be probably less than 2 per grade in this area. It was very bony and a lot of stone and.
And you went down 126, so you went down about 10 feet.
10 feet. Yes.
And is that the depth where you designed that?
To design that to have like 2 feet of separation. I mean, assuming that the bottom of the hole would be the elevation of groundwater. I mean, if we went deeper.
Do you have to have a certain separation from the bottom to the groundwater table? 2 feet, even if it's less than 2 inches?
What?
Do you have to have a separation from the groundwater table to the bottom of your filtration?
Yes, usually it's like 2 feet for that, but because, I mean, we only brought like a smaller machine on it, and we could keep going on the excavation, so we just went enough to justify the design for the building, but I think that we could keep going on it.
Yeah, so if you were 10 feet down in your elevation 118, so you're probably 108, so you're probably, water down the wetlands there 103, so you think it's going to be a little step.
Yeah.
On the flip side, do you think the soil's too coarse to infiltrate water too quickly? It'll add too much water?
No, because with the design, when you do the design calculation, we actually consider that we're not infiltrating as much. That's why we have like a larger basin, so we have like more bottom to infiltrate that. So the idea is that we have the ability to infiltrate more water.
Okay.
But eventually, I mean, the path of that it's going to find its way on it, and then, I mean, the geology of it. I mean, this area is wet because the soil here is not cannot perk, cannot. So once that water finds this one, it's just going to.
Yeah, the soil will change when you get down.
I mean, I did another project down, which was like
666.
Down the street, and what I found out over there, it was like very fine sand, so it works as a sponge. It was not like so this whole area on this side, we have like when you look at the soil maps, it's all like this fine sand material, and it doesn't perk as good.
Did you find the soil in the hole consistent with the soil survey done, the 75 or 95 soil survey that you quoted before?
Yeah, the soil in here, this area, this whole area, when you look at the
The soil survey.
soil survey.
Does it match the logs though?
No, it does match.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that, see like this, so see like this is the, so this is the site, you see like, so all this is this 453B. This is like good material, see like all the red, there's a little material that doesn't.
That's your weapon.
To say like it doesn't perk there, but the water naturally keeps in here. But when it gets to this end, see like this brown, this red doesn't occur in infiltration.
Yeah, I just want to confirm that matched what you found.
Yes, it matches.
You should make a change on the next one. So then the last chance filter, if you will, from the infiltration overflow is gonna be, you change the figure to match the deep sump.
Yes.
Okay. So the water goes in, it's got
It's got, yeah,
48 inches, and it goes back out again.
when the clean water goes in.
Oh, it's actually got a little baffle down. And is this gonna be part of the inspections that you guys are gonna do?
Yeah, there's like the usually the maintenance, year maintenance on it, there's like clean offs for this. The inspections of the bottom, remove all the sand
Yeah.
from like the catchphrases and clean the forebay.
Okay.
So it promotes, the cleaning of the,
All right. Yeah, the only thing that's good is the inspections keep up with it.
inspections and the maintenance of it.
So for this edge of disturbance, how are you going to mark that? Are you just gonna,
I mean, I think like for.
I know there's a little piece of wood with,
No, for construction purposes, I mean, majority of the other projects that I've been involved in, like, we're gonna lay out, which I have it in here, like the limit of disturbance on it, that we have entire property. And then all that receives like a silk fence with,
right, but after
hay bales.
construction and all that, is there gonna be anything to mark, like, from here, here's the end of anything that people, the units here, the,
I have worked.
association can touch?
I have worked on projects where Conservation Commission asked us to put signs over there.
Yes,
Edge of like disturbance, so people don't say like,
Yes,
oh,
so-
didn't know about it.
yeah, no, yeah, because it needs to be, you know, a sign that definitely says like,
I mean, I don't think that's. a
no
major
dumping, no
problem.
nothing, you know.
Yeah, you're so close. I mean, you're coming down to the edge there, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can, I mean, it's just a matter, we can come up with a detail, and usually we put like a little sign like this big, with a sign like there's a wetland sign on it. And sometimes we include like, the phone number for the Conservation Commission, only if people have questions on it, you know.
Okay. Do you have any other question?
Check that email, I think it's.
Ian, do you have any questions? Joe?
No, this looks good. Everything's up to.
So now I'm going to open up to the public for questions. Please state your name and your address and your question. Please limit the questions to the development as, and the wetlands as seen here. Anything about, anything else that doesn't apply to the Conservation Commission, is not part of our hearing. So, raise your hand and I will acknowledge. Yes, sir?
Alan Moles, 72 Sportsman's Trail. I just got a couple questions. I just need clarity from the last meeting. Can you explain to me again what the 25, 50, and the 75-foot wetland buffer represents? Is that as close as you can come? I don't understand.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, you could
So
go.
like the 100 feet buffer represents the area under the jurisdiction for Department of Environmental Protection. That's why we're here. So like for any disturbance that we had under the 100 feet. Because I'm accustomed to, like I show it the 25 and the 50 foot buffer. I mean, I actually laid that on the project. I mean, but then some municipalities, they have restrictions and they have like different bylaws for work that can happen on 25 and 50. Some other municipalities, they add like a 125 foot buffer, so it all varies. So the 25 and the 50 in here just represents like, like the sort of a, just for a guideline, so the board can see the distance of like where we doing, alteration into the wetland. So my thought process in here was that, so there's our outlet for the basin is like 50 feet away from, and once like this grainy area, and the edge of the disturbance in here, I try to keep like at least 25 feet away from the edge of the wetland. And once like this area, it's like sort of disturbed and grassy, I mean, there was no additional impact. There's a little bit of like, there's buildings in here that would be under the 100 feet buffer, and a little bit of this that would be under the 100 feet buffer, but nothing in here. There would be like no sort of cars or further disturbance into the wetland after the work is done.
Well,
I'll just add now, so if you're working off the older figure from 2 weeks ago, the 75-foot buffer is incorrect. It actually should be 100 on that figure. They corrected it, so it should have been 100.
so these buffers are not a buffer established by the town of Whitman for building near wetland.
The 100-foot buffer is established by Mass DP, and that's what Whitman.
And so we're asking for a variance.
No, we're not. I mean,
No, there's no variance. You can't get a variance.
Right.
So it's just that the work under the 100 feet is, it has to be, we have to meet different guidelines on it. So that's the whole thing that we did in all the reports, that we need to prove that we can meet those guidelines.
So zero, yeah, okay, so I understand. So if you're within this boundary.
We need to come in here, show that we meet the guidelines, and then ask for
Right,
permission.
so if you worked on another site, you were 300 away, you wouldn't be having this,
And then I need to come in here.
you wouldn't be having this particular conversation.
Yes.
Right. The other thing, it seems that, in regards to this water filtration system,
Yes.
have you built this system within, like, say, the last 1 or 3 years on a project? Have you seen it, like, successfully working, seen it from the time it's being built, or?
So the way that this works, like when you do like the infiltration systems, you have to, that's why we had to do like the perk test to verify the soil. But see, like the whole process for calculation of stormwater is like is a temporal effect. The formulas that we use to do this. So let's assume like that you have like a raindrop in here. When all this stuff rains and the water gets to this point, you add all that water, right? So what will happen is that so with the soil, and then they have like on the calculations for this, you have provisions for the different types of soils. So like soils that perk good and soils that don't perk as good. So what happens is that when the soils are no good, the size of the basin gets bigger. And the idea for it, if you imagine like this temporal curve, like that forms like that, there's a peak that reaches a certain point. What happens when you add a detention basin on it, what it does is that you enlarge the curve. So you maintain the same peak for a longer time, and then when all the water from everywhere else passes it, then the water from the site start coming out. So it's a very, I think like it's a very smart way to do it. So you prevent, like the idea is to prevent flooding from happening on it. These things, they work great. I mean, I've been practicing engineer for like 30 years.
Have you actually seen this type of system working? I know you described it in detail.
That's what I'm saying. I've been practicing engineering for like 30 years, and then, for Massachusetts, because we have like so much limitation on the amount of land, it would be ideal if I could come in here and build like a big detention basin. It doesn't cost anything on it. This stuff, it costs a lot of money. And then we put it that underground, and they work great. It promotes a lot of infiltration, because otherwise all the water from the roofs and everything else would just surface overland. This stuff permits the water and allows it, because it's not that, like you have like about like this height of the tank in the ground, so the water gets stored over there, and you have time for that to like slowly, infiltration doesn't happen overnight, it takes time for the water to sink into the ground. I'm a super fan of like this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think one of the biggest concerns we have is that the type of development it's going in, it's townhomes, it's going to be the organization that's got to keep an eye on it, make sure it runs correctly and all that, so I hope, move forward, I hope there's going to be some tough, provisions and rules in there for that condo association, which make sure they run it like it's supposed to be run, because if they don't, issues and problems. So, I mean, it's one thing a homeowner might be putting in, but now you're relying on a condo association and all these types of things. But, I mean, I think it is super duper system, but I'm a big fan of the original system, which is the trees and the vegetation that are in there. They seem to be doing their job, so.
Yes.
But it is what it is, so. But thank you, I appreciate your time and explaining.
Any other questions? Anybody else?
I'd like to review the letter and the new information.
Oh.
But, I mean, I don't think
Yeah, we need to review that.
awesome. This is our copy.
Yeah, this is like I was gonna, I just made one, but it's on the end.
That's fine. We only need,
So like
we don't
this is
need
the,
another copy.
Okay.
this is the one letter, this is like my research from Liverpool, this is like from, Moore, and this is like from Matthew, like Matthew Environmental, and this is the results for the, this is like, we did like the overlay of the, natural heritage map
Yep.
to like determine the point of the vernal pool.
Great.
This is the soil.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same book that we have, like, this is the revised table.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's good. I just might just need a little bit of time to review.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we just
This is great. Thank
Do
you.
that. Okay.
together.
Excellent.
Okay, so need to review the latest, greatest information that we have received, that we had requested, so that's gonna take us a few minutes to read through, or I think we should probably continue it one more week unless we have time to, what do you guys think?
I think that'd probably be best.
What?
Yeah, probably would be best.
Two?
Yep.
Continue. So we're gonna continue it, and I already shut off my phone. What is the next?
15.
The 15th? So we will continue, so we have time to go through the new material. And then we will make a decision at that meeting. We will plan for 7:45. You won't need, we have our questions unless we come up with more questions before then. We will email you and I'll let Carl know and he can come. But
So we're closing the hearing.
we're going to continue it until the 15th of October, so we can just review the new materials that we have. But then we will make a decision.
Definitely appreciate all the follow-up though.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great.
So we're not going to close it because we still have comments. We might have more questions at that before, by the end of the week or next week, whatever, before it, we will, I'll email Carl if we have any other issues. Otherwise, we'll make a decision. We'll reopen it at our next meeting at 7:45 and then make a decision.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's a picture of what that system looks like before the fair.
Yeah, you can come up and look at the new information that we
Not
have.
be selfish and move your meeting up by a week.
Can we move the meeting to a week earlier?
Late.
Or later?
Nope.
Or a week early.
Yeah, it's in our bylaws. We have to be.
We meet the first and third Tuesday of every month, so
Okay.
we're
So
not,
it should be buried under 8 feet, but that's what.
that's
what
our schedule,
It's a
so
half a pipe, essentially. It's about 3 feet. space.
we don't change it for,
That's
It's
gonna be
okay.
parking lot.
I just asked.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. yeah, no,
yeah.
You can never
So
know.
the water, after it rains, it kind of goes in there and it's open to the soil down below. And it'll fill up some pipes and it'll just leak down in the water. And this overflow, in case you get like a serious storm, like a hurricane where it can't handle it, it will overflow
Into the light.
into this discharge pipe that's gonna find its way in the well.
they have some.
This is just an overflow.
Similar,
You shouldn't see any water come off. If you do, the system's failing.
That's the most difficult part about that system, is you're relying on that.
That's the change system.
Yeah, they fixed it. It was in this type. It said 75 last time.
So the overflow water stays in the soil. It doesn't come out.
99, the water should all stay in the soil. It only overflows.
100-year storm.
Like a Helene or something like that, where it's just too much water. Can't handle it. Soil's pretty porous. Probably can't live anything.
Those are the numbers he was saying earlier when he was saying everything was 0 until the 100-year storm, and then it would be, just a reduction. But
I don't want to show you pictures of my friend that is dealing with the 100-year storm right now.
It could provide less water to that area. Overflowing flow, because it would be able to trade almost a half acre, but now it just runs out the backyard.
But you also have water coming off the roofs.
Yeah,
Water coming off.
Yeah, it goes right to the ground.
Right.
yeah, but the previous owner was taking water out of the wetlands too.
That's how I knew you want the site, because I was down by that shed too. Because I was like, what is this?
Wait
Yeah.
a second.
And I took
There were at least two.
Well, I didn't get that close, because my luck, I was by myself and I fall into dark water.
No, we'll find you right here.
Nobody will find
I'll
me.
find out where she's for-
Until you guys came around. Hey,
Alan?
what are you doing in the water? But, yeah, because that pipe was way down.
I know.
Yeah, I thought we walked over there yesterday, and it's pretty dry up there right now, even in the back, or the lower area. Up on the tourist terraces, but
Yeah.
we have a dry, we've got a dry.
Everything that happens
Yeah, I think,
is
you
0
know,
for
that's my own big concern, because it's a condo association and it's a elaborate system for them to oversee and look at.
And then I show
It's not like
They had done due diligence, they fixed some areas that last time, they,
apply, maintain,
right, it's probably,
yeah, we can. That's why.
It's not like you have the DB water division that's coming out every third Wednesday or something.
yeah, if it's their jurisdiction, I would hold
And
it.
try to.
Yeah, well, this is,
The owners of that.
Yeah, if you ever see
Yeah,
issues,
mention the owners, that's where the water.
the big thing is though, we were talking, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
We were talking about back here. We had a conversation about that the other day. It definitely needs to be marked back here, not
yes,
start roaming
that's
back.
what I was talking about.
You don't want people having a nice pool party by the way.
Right,
And then,
so right here, there's a edge of disturbance, and right now, there's like a little piece of wood with a, I don't know if it was a flag, I can't remember, that's where that is, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This needs to be marked, and either with some type of signage, which,
Following construction too, like.
yes, that goes in after.
Conservation area.
Yeah, right now, there's just that little block telling the.
is it gonna be made known that they can't build or put anything else down in here? Because of all the wetland regulations?
well,
Because they'll still
they're
own
gonna
it,
have a fence here.
but they're gonna
before they
still
start.
own the land.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna still own
Following
it,
construction.
Yeah, they'll own it, but they can't.
but they can't put anything else.
No, it's illegal.
Until they come in front of planning and then in front of us, and then.
Yeah, they'll have, the whole thing's.
Yeah, that's all wetlands was, you can't build on wetlands.
Right,
Originally it was,
but originally it was down here.
Yeah,
What?
Originally it was right down here to our place.
Yeah, but that was previous.
Yeah, I know, before
Or-
your time.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, that's why we're the last stop. So everybody has to fix issues, and we can't, we have no say in like how the buildings are and how many trees you're gonna
No,
put
no,
up
you're all
here.
water. So you-
Yeah, we're just as long as anything that touches the wetlands or the buffer, that's where we come in.
From that point on, nothing happens beyond that.
All right, well, unfortunately we'll miss you next week or 2 weeks, but we'll see how it goes.
I think, if everything reads the way I think it's gonna go, that's just my guess. There's not much missing.
Yeah.
But probably isn't much missing.
No, I mean, that's.
I mean, it looks like it's running the regulations, that's why.
Say like, probably like early next year if we.
Alright, thanks for all
If we have snow this year, then- I mean, I'm not, yeah, no,
What I was, so I had emailed Stephanie Pace. What? Oh, yes.
Oh, you wanna
you're,
close?
No, I have to, we're still, so I had, I forgot to talk about this before. So I had emailed Stephanie, I believe Dick Pace or Dick Pace, who is the, I don't know if you want to call it the site manager for the middle school. So they're not having a meeting. I think they have their next one is until like October 21st or something. So we can't, until they're done, we can't even put them on the schedule. So it'll be
another 9 months. But that would be just
before Thanksgiving and, I don't have my phone.
the site has to be done now.
Because we can't
This is, if you.
see when the,
Yeah, so November, so the first Tuesday is election day.
yeah, so we can't have that. And then the second one is, the third week is what, the 19th?
The 19th, yeah.
So we possibly, we could, depend on
This, and then we just need to.
whatever comes from the ZBA or whatever,
Okay,
it would be the 19th of November before we even
talk about it.
talk about the middle school. So,
Okay.
and we haven't received anything else. So, yep. So if you can read through that information, pass it, we can just pass it along.
Yeah, do you want me to? You got 2 weeks, you want me to have it, does someone else want to have it for a little bit and then drop it up your place
Yeah,
and I can pick it up?
we can just pass it through. Yeah, that way everybody
Yeah.
can, no, go ahead. I don't have to, it's closed for me.
Start.
No, it's
All right.
month end closed for me, so I'm doing financials for companies.
Question about the 15th. They want to get Jason from the open space and recreation plan, this from Old Colony Planning. Come talk to us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do we still have time on the 15th?
Oh, yeah, because this will be, and that one, we're just, by then, each of us would have had time to review and decide, bye.
Thank you very
Thanks for coming. By then, all of us will have read through the information and we can just, bye.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Then we can vote. It should be maybe a 5-minute thing or something like that, and then he could come.
All right, yeah.
Just have him, I would say, just to be on the safe side, have him come at 8.
Okay, yeah.
Plan for 8.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect, okay, sounds good.
yeah, just roll all these up.
These up, yes, okay.
Do you want one of the maps? Brian,
He's a stamper.
do you want one of the maps?
He brought maps for everybody.
Everybody's got a map.
And the binder's got some maps.
This is my first map.
Okay.
I'm actually
Are we
Good to
off?
keep
We
it.
still on?
reference some of these plans.
Excuse me?
Are we off? We still on?
Wait, I'm gonna close it. It's 8:28 on October 1st. We're closing the meeting.